7 Signs of a Broken Man and the Journey to Rebuild. In life, we often hear about heroes, men who face trials and come out stronger. But rarely do we hear about the ones who face their own private battles, who carry their scars in silence, hidden behind smiles and words that never quite tell the full story. This is about them, the men who walk through life, haunted by invisible wounds, longing for a way out, but often too afraid to ask for help. Today, we're going to look at the 7 signs of a broken man, a journey that may feel familiar to you or someone you know. And in recognizing these signs, maybe we can find a way toward healing, understanding, and redemption. Sign number 1, the silence that screams. When we think of silence, we think of peace, tranquility. But for a broken man, silence can be a prison. It's the quiet that comes from years of swallowing emotions, pushing down pain, and hiding parts of himself that he's too afraid to confront. This isn't the kind of silence that brings comfort. It's a silence that feels like a weight, like a fog pressing in from all sides. He may sit quietly, appearing calm, but inside his mind is in turmoil. There's a storm of thoughts and emotions that never see the light of day. He remembers moments that hurt him, but he never lets himself feel them fully. Maybe it was a friend who betrayed him, a loved one who left, or a failure that left him questioning his worth. These memories live in his silence, playing on repeat, but he never speaks of them. Why? Because he doesn't want to burden others, or maybe he doesn't believe anyone would understand. This silence becomes his companion. He learns to live with it, but it costs him. He feels isolated, even in a crowd, because no one really knows what he's going through. His silence may seem like strength, but it's a sign of a heart that's been broken and is too afraid to heal. Sign number 2, the endless mask. Many people wear masks, little facades that help them navigate daily life. But for a broken man, this mask isn't just an accessory, it's a lifeline. He puts it on every day, adjusting it to fit the expectations of those around him. He may appear confident, successful, and unfazed, but inside, he feels like he's crumbling. This mask hides his insecurities, his fears, and his wounds. Imagine a man who walks into a room with a broad smile, shaking hands, laughing at jokes. To everyone around him, he seems like he has it all together. But behind closed doors, when the laughter fades, he's left with the truth, a deep sadness he can't explain, an emptiness he can't fill. The mask is his way of coping, of pretending that everything is okay. The problem with the mask is that it isolates him further. The more he hides, the less others know him, and the more he believes that he's unworthy of love and understanding. He's afraid to let anyone close because he thinks they'll see through the mask, that they'll see him for who he really is, someone broken, someone struggling. And so he keeps the mask on, day after day, hoping it will one day become real, even as it drains him of his true self. Sign number 3, the ache of unfulfilled potential. In every broken man, there is often a dreamer who once believed he could change the world. Maybe it was a career he envisioned, a talent he nurtured, or a relationship he wanted to build. But somewhere along the way, life happened. Failure stacked up, obstacles appeared, and dreams slowly slipped through his fingers. Now he lives with the constant reminder of what could have been. The ache of unfulfilled potential is a quiet sorrow. It's a feeling of being stuck, of knowing that you had the capacity to be so much more, but somehow fell short. He remembers the fire in his younger self, the one who had big plans and boundless energy. Now, he looks in the mirror and sees a man who's lost that spark, who feels as though he's living someone else's life. This feeling eats away at him, creating a divide between who he is and who he wanted to be. It's as though there's a ghost of his former self, always watching, always reminding him of the dreams he let go. And with every passing day, the gap between them grows wider, making it harder for him to believe that he can ever find his way back to the person he was meant to be. Sign number 4, the relentless self-doubt. Self-doubt is a powerful force, one that can cripple even the strongest of men. For a broken man, self-doubt becomes a constant companion, whispering in his ear that he's not good enough, that he'll never measure up. This doubt didn't appear overnight. It's been built over years of criticism, rejection, and perceived failures. It's a voice that he's learned to trust more than his own. When he looks at opportunities, he doesn't see potential. He sees the risk of failure. When he thinks about pursuing happiness, he questions whether he deserves it. This doubt keeps him trapped, unable to move forward because he's too afraid of making mistakes. It convinces him that he's destined to fall short no matter what he does. This cycle of self-doubt is exhausting. He becomes his own harshest critic, picking apart every decision, second-guessing every move. And because he doubts himself, he often misses out on chances that could have changed his life. This self-doubt becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, reinforcing his belief that he's unworthy of success, happiness, or love. The struggle with vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, especially for men. Society tells them to be strong, to hide their emotions, to never show weakness. But for a broken man, vulnerability feels like the ultimate risk. He's been hurt before, maybe by people he trusted, maybe by circumstances beyond his control, and now he's afraid to open himself up again. He builds walls around his heart, keeping others at a distance. He fears that if he lets anyone in, they'll see the scars, the insecurities, the fears that he tries so hard to hide. He believes that if he keeps his guard up, he won't get hurt again. But this self-protection comes at a cost. By avoiding vulnerability, he also avoids connection. He yearns for closeness, for someone to understand him, but he's too afraid to let anyone see the real him. And so, he remains isolated, locked in a prison of his own making. His heart is closed off, not because he doesn't want love, but because he's terrified of the pain that comes with it. Sign number 6, the habit of self-sabotage. There's a part of every broken man that believes he doesn't deserve happiness. This belief often drives him to sabotage his own success, his own relationships, his own well-being. He may not realize he's doing it, but he finds ways to hold himself back, to undermine his own efforts. When opportunities arise, he finds reasons not to take them. He procrastinates, he avoids, he delays. In relationships, he pushes people away, creating conflict where none exists, distancing himself to protect against the inevitable hurt he expects. This self-sabotage becomes a cycle, a way of reinforcing the negative beliefs he holds about himself. The irony is that he wants to be happy, to succeed, to love, and be loved. But deep down, he doesn't believe he deserves it. And so, he creates obstacles for himself, ensuring that he never quite reaches his goals. This habit becomes a prison, trapping him in a life of disappointment and regret. Sign number 7, the desperate need for approval. At the core of every broken man is a longing for validation, a need to feel seen, valued, and accepted. He may not realize it, but he depends on the approval of others to define his worth. Compliments, praise, recognition, these become his lifeline, his way of feeling valued in a world that often makes him feel invisible. This need for approval isn't about vanity, it's about a deep-seated insecurity, a fear that he isn't enough on his own. He places his self-worth in the hands of others, allowing their opinions to dictate how he feels about himself. Every nod of approval becomes a temporary relief, a momentary balm for the emptiness he feels inside. But no amount of external validation can truly heal a broken soul. Until he learns to value himself from within, he'll remain dependent on others to tell him he's worthy. And in this dependency, he loses his sense of self, becoming a reflection of other people's expectations rather than who he truly is. The journey to healing, breaking the cycle. But here's the truth. Brokenness is not the end. It's a chapter, a part of the story, but it doesn't have to define you. Every scar, every hurt, every regret is a piece of the puzzle that, when understood, can lead to a powerful transformation. The first step is realizing that brokenness is not weakness. It's simply a place you've been, not who you are. And while it may take time, healing is possible. You can learn to trust again, to love again, and most importantly, to believe in yourself again. To the man who feels broken, know this: there is strength in your scars, wisdom in your pain, and beauty in your resilience. You may feel lost now, but within you is the power to rebuild, to find a new purpose, and to create a life that reflects the man you truly are. The journey will be challenging, but every step you take toward healing is a step toward freedom. So let go of the past, break free from the silence, and take that first step forward. You are not alone, and you are stronger than you know. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you felt a connection to this story, if these words resonated with a part of you that's been waiting to be seen, You're not alone. We're building a space here where we can share, grow, and heal together. So, if you're ready for more stories like this, if you want to keep exploring these deeper truths about life and the human experience, please subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon so you never miss an upload. And remember, every view, every like, every share helps us reach someone else who might need this too. Let's walk this path together. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.